For decades, scientists imagined a tumor as a ball of identical cancer cells. Then researchers looked closer. They sequenced different regions of the same tumor and found something astonishing. Different parts of the same tumor contain different mutations. Some cells divide rapidly, others barely grew. Some resistant chemotherapy, others die quickly. A tumor wasn't one enemy, it was an evolving ecosystem. And suddenly, observing cancer wasn't enough anymore. To understand it, scientists had to build it inside a computer. But how do you simulate something so complex? In this video, we'll answer 3 key questions for cancer studying, each with a different simulation algorithm. So our first question is, how do we simulate an ecosystem like this? Scientists use computation to give each cell its own identity. Each virtual cell follows simple rules: divide, move, consume nutrition, mutate, and die. This is known as an agent-based model. This is one of the most interesting types of simulations. ABM are widely used to study how complex tumor behaviors emerge from many interacting cells. They provide a controllable in silico lab for testing what-if scenarios before clinical trials, especially in understanding treatment resistance and adaptive therapies. A review by Kongwa and colleagues highlights ABM role in modeling tumor-host interactions, and studies have shown virtual patients can even mimic real clinical outcomes. For example, one study in the last year simulated the progression of hepatoblastoma over 3 years in a cohort of virtual patients, accurately reproducing clinical mortality and symptom onset rates. Let's move to the next question. How to study the structure of cancer? Cells don't live in an empty space. They push on the surrounding tissue, compress blood vessels, and has a specific mechanical properties like stiffness. So stress and strain can build inside of it. These invisible physical forces can determine whether some sort of treatment succeed or fail. But how do you measure these forces that you cannot see? Many civil engineers know the answer for that. We can model the mechanical side of cells using the famous finite element model. One remarkable application is breast elastography. Doctors discovered that cancerous tissue is often significantly stiffer than healthy tissue. Rather than simply looking at the ultrasound images, engineers use finite element models to estimate the tissue's mechanical properties. The tumor becomes visible not because of how it looks, but because how it behaves mechanically. FEM is also used to reconstruct patient-specific tumors from medical images and estimate fracture risks in bones weakened by metastatic diseases. The third question is, if every tumor is unique, shouldn't every simulation be unique too? Imagine 2 patients with the same diagnosis and the same treatment, yet completely different outcomes. Why that? Because every patient cancer evolves differently, no 2 tumors share exactly the same biology. Researchers are now building something even more ambitious, a digital twin, a living virtual copy of one patient's disease. Medical imaging, biopsy data, genetics, clinical history, and mathematical models all continuously update on one simulation. And instead of asking what treatment usually works, doctors may eventually ask, what happens if we try this treatment on your virtual twin first? In your review article, Digital Twins in Oncology, From Predictive Modeling to Personalized Treatment Strategies, we see that digital twins are already being explored to predict chemotherapy response, optimize radiotherapy plans, improve surgical planning, and personalize cancer care. Although still an emerging technology, they represent one of the clearest visions of precision medicine. The goal is to give doctors a laboratory where every patient can be tested safely before treatment begins. So what do you think? Will we ever fully simulate cancer? Or will each discovery keep revealing something even more complex? Tell us in the comments. If you're curious about where this journey leads next, make sure to subscribe and follow along.